Hello everyone, welcome back to Tartan Samurai Gaming. Today we are playing the death and return of Superman, based on the 1992 comic, which was later adapted in the, let's just say, not universally well received movie, Batman vs Superman, and has also been adapted in numerous other media as well, where Superman has a showdown with the villain, the seemingly indestructible villain Doomsday. Now, our first level begins in Metropolis, but this is before Doomsday shows up, so this is just a sort of an introductory level. A complete power failure across the city, which is caused by the Underworlders, a gang of mutants who live under the city. So Superman's got to go and deal with them. It's a job for Superman. So throughout the course of the game we'll play as the various different versions of Superman that showed up during this comic book run. But for now we're playing as good old regular Superman. So this game functions in a similar way to like a sort of a Streets of Rage style beat 'em up, but the one difference is when you jump you can press the jump button again and you'll fly, because obviously you're Superman. Which is handy for dodging certain enemy attacks. You want to watch out for these machine gun guys, because obviously their weapons have range. So it's basically just iterations of these same two types of villain that you'll fight throughout level 1. These kind of goat looking guys, and these little stumpy guys with the miniguns. Now that there is a power-up. So have to time our jump in and out carefully there, using Superman's flying ability. Doing okay so far here. And we're now into the second phase of the level, which is an underground area. Obligatory beat 'em up elevator level here. We always have one. Superman is getting out of the way early. And these little tick guys are kind of tricky, because they can do like a spinning ball attack and just run right at you, so you've got to watch out for that. Yeah, that was it there. Basically, don't give them any time to settle whatsoever. Yeah, that's the spin attack I was talking about. Yeah, so prioritize taking out those ticks whenever you see them. Now we're on to the final part of stage 1. Coming up towards the boss, who actually kind of looks a bit like Doomsday, strangely enough. Use a flying punch to take that guy out of his ship, and then you can throw his ship at him as well. So how's that for recycling? Needed energy power up there. Ah, now this is the boss causing a bit of an earthquake before we actually fight him, so you've got to watch out for the debris. Luckily you'll see shadows of it long before it comes anywhere near you. attacks, with their spinning attacks. Yep, he's down for the count. Unfortunately, the enemies can't do friendly fire damage to each other, so you can throw them into each other though, so that's handy. We are almost at the boss here. I think this might be the boss. Oh. Extra special attack there for us. Not quite at the boss yet, but we're almost there. Oh dear, first life down. That's okay though. Oh, here he comes. So this is Closter, who definitely isn't Doomsday, but kind of looks a bit like him. I'm going to hit him with a special attack just to unsettle him. Yeah, so try and get him to walk into your punches if you can. Right, level complete. So stage two now is where Doomsday is heading for Metropolis and Superman has to stop him. And he's just basically one-shotted the entire Justice League. Doomsday is here. And if you look at that sort of a restraining suit that he's wearing, you can see where the inspiration for the Ultraman character in the recent Superman movie came from. So now Superman's got to take him down, but at what cost? Now that wrecking ball there can actually come to your help if you use it wisely. In other words, if you can get bad guys to walk underneath it. So we're going to deal with some generic gangsters here, or rather gang members, and then we'll get to fight Doomsday in a little bit. Doomsday is very hard, as you can imagine. Oh, yeah, watch out for bikers. Nice quick flying punch will take care of them. And then you can throw their bike at them as well. It's always good to recycle. We got to watch out for here as well. One of them is attacking you. The other one will be lining up an attack for as soon as you've taken care of his friend. Like so. Right, I'm just going to clear the decks here. Ah, typical. I believe this is where momentarily Doomsday is going to show up. Yep. You hear that rumbling? That's Doomsday. There he is. I'm going to start off by hitting him with a couple of special attacks. After that, it's just jumping punches all the way, because that's the only way you can really do any damage on him. If you try and get into a combo with him, he'll just do that to you. He'll smash you and laugh at you. Yeah, the placement of that wrecking ball isn't ideal either. So I think you see how this works now, but you've got to be so careful. Okay, that's the first round of Doomsday beaten, but that's only the first round. Round 2 is coming up in a moment, once we fight some more of these gang members who seem oblivious to the fact that there's a monster trying to destroy the world and they'd rather just have a fight with Superman. Kind of weird, but okay. You do you. You know, for a Man of Steel, Superman's punches are pretty feeble in this game, aren't they? It doesn't do much damage. Oh, there's some extra energy though, that definitely comes in handy. Thank you. Thank you again. Was there a power up there? No, there wasn't. Okay. Uh-oh. First continue is down. Gotta try and beat that first Doomsday more quickly. Okay, we seem to be doing a little better this time. So far. It's after this level where the game starts to get really interesting because you get to play as all the different iterations of Superman. A bit unfair. Not ideal. Okay, Doomsday is in town. This is better so far. Should be just about enough. Okay, one more hit should do him. But one more hit will do me as well, so I'm going to be careful here. Ah, just missed him. But I can use my brief invincibility to take him out. Okay. So we are in a slightly better position than we were last time. Okay, pretty smooth going so far. So as much as possible, if you can get the bad guys to kind of take each other out as much as you take them out, that clears the decks a little bit, makes things slightly easier. Okay. Okay, that'll do him. Oh, hit the wrong button there, sorry. Ah, missed that. So we should be going off against Doomsday again in a second. I think we just go back down to street level here. Hopefully we'll get a power up. Nope, okay. Okay, done. Yeah, when you've got two chainsaw guys at the same time, that's a bit of a problem. Okay. Yep, here comes Doomsday again. This is going to be close. Doomsday is doing his level best to make it as unfair as possible. Yes, we got him. Now, the two of them take each other out, and that's the end of the level. And, it would seem, the end of Superman. But not quite. So that's a scene taken directly from the comic book where Lois Lane is holding the unconscious Superman. So who will defend us now? Superman is gone. So as far as everybody's concerned at the moment, Superman is dead. He's out of the game. News flash. Reports of Superman sightings are pouring in from all over the city. Yeah. So, some folks claim to have seen a cyborg Superman, half man, half machine. Others claim to have seen a Superman who is the same, yet somehow changed. That's the Eradicator. Others believe they've seen a young Superboy, who, as you probably guessed, is a clone. And then, eyewitness reports of a man made of steel, who becomes the hero Steel later on. Played by Shaquille O'Neal in a movie that had absolutely nothing to do with the comic book, apart from the name. So who is the real Superman? Well, the answer is none of them. But we're going to play as them for a while anyway. So level 3, Assault on Cadmus. So Cadmus is a secret government lab where they do all kinds of weird experiments. So we are playing as the cyborg Superman for this one. And he has a laser cannon, as you can see. This is a nice little flashback to the Superman arcade game from the 80s that had sections like this as well. Although, of course, they were using Superman's heat vision in those sections. Alright, you can actually just hold down the button for rapid fire here. That's good to know. So yeah, the cyborg Superman is an interesting character. You'll see a lot more of him as the game develops, but he is not what he appears to be, suffice to say. So with these airborne enemies, it's all about don't let them get above you, because then they can fire their beams down on you, and that's when they're dangerous. So I'm going to take this guy out first. There. Okay, we're using another continue there. So we'll start again with this rapid fire section, but having 4 lives, this should be a lot easier now. I honestly think the Doomsday battle is one of the hardest parts of the entire game, to be quite honest with you, and we've cleared that, so we should be looking pretty good from here on out. So I'll, if I may, I'll talk a little bit about the new Superman film. I saw it a couple of weeks ago on the day it came out. I have to say, I really enjoyed it. I think it was colourful, it was positive, it was energetic. Lex Luthor is the most evil he's ever been, which is fantastic. That's how it should be. And Superman was the most heroic I've seen him since Christopher Reeve, which again I'm very happy about. Is it a perfect film? No film is perfect, but it's pretty damn close. I really enjoyed it. I'm excited to see where this new universe goes, and I say that as somebody who enjoyed Man of Steel, despite it being a film that gets a lot of hate, I think unreasonably so. So yeah, I loved the characterization. I really liked the other heroes that were in it. Mr. Terrific was an outstanding character. Guy Gardner gets all the great one-liners that a smart-ass like him should. And yeah, Hawk Girl doesn't say much, but she has one moment, which I won't spoil, which is just, it's excellent. It's a very cathartic moment in the film that she has. And it's her moment to shine. Right, so we're going to take this airborne enemy out first. Oh, there's another one. Okay. Oh, that's just obnoxious. It's definitely a challenging game, this. It's no Streets of Rage, that's for sure. It's it doesn't play anywhere near as well as Streets of Rage does, and it's a lot harder. Right, let's see if there's anything up here worth going for. Well, there's an enemy. Okay. Well, these guys are quick. But they are limited in number, so if we take them out eventually, we will find a way forward. Right, up you come. Come on. Oh, by the way, especially if you're a dog lover, the new Superman film is definitely for you. Crypto, he's probably the best CG character I've ever seen in a film, and that's not an exaggeration. I've never seen an entirely CG character with so much personality, despite not having any dialogue. Taken care of. Oh. These flying guys are getting annoying now. Down. Okay, he's down and we can move on. Oh. Right. Okay, we're going into the lab itself now. So yeah, Cadmus is a government-sponsored lab that is all about, shall we say, morally dubious experiments, cloning and so on. So, I don't think it's much of a spoiler. It's a spoiler for a 35-year-old comic to say that, yeah, they were the creators of Superboy in this story. Connor Kent, as he would later become known, he would join the Teen Titans. It's actually in the Titans TV series that ended recently, which I think was actually a pretty decent show. Definitely season 1 and 2. Was it season 2 that had Deathstroke in it? That was or season 3 rather. That was the strongest season because Deathstroke is a Teen Titans villain. So when they went up against him, that was the best season of the show in my opinion. But yeah, decent show. And Superboy is very much a part of it. Crypto actually appears in that show as well, but he's a real dog in that one. Okay. You know, that is just annoying when you're hitting one guy and the other guy just walks in and gets a free hit. Just simply because of the poor reaction speed of your character. Yeah, mildly annoying. Okay. And there's some much needed extra energy. Right, take out the flying guys first, that's the rule. There we go. Alright, let's just wipe these guys out. I'm getting annoyed now. Don't know how I just did that attack, but I want to do it again. That was cool. Oh, extra life. That'll do nicely. Right on time. Okay, boss time. Some sort of kryptonite robot by the looks of it. Right, so I guess what we have to do is wait for those orbs to disappear and then attack. Right, okay, I get you. So that's the pattern. And we got it. So with that out the way, you can now take the seemingly dead Doomsday and throw him into outer space. And the cyborg does that to thereby gain the trust of the people and convince them that he is Superman. So the cyborg throws Doomsday into deep space. Meanwhile, here's what the Eradicator has been up to. The Eradicator has, I think, arguably the best costume of all the new Supermen, because it kind of looks a little bit like the Man of Steel suit. Though obviously the 90s shades are kind of a bit over the top, but you know. So the Eradicator is actually a Kryptonian sort of android, like a living computer. He is programmed to activate in the event that Superman is out of action. And basically he has all of Superman's strength, intelligence, some of his personality traits, but none of his morality. So he has no qualms about, you know, unaliving bad guys, shall we say. I hate using that word. He doesn't have the same moral hold-ups about ending the lives of criminals that Superman does. There's quite a brutal scene in the Death of Superman comic where the Eradicator catches a criminal, and the criminal gives up, but the Eradicator proceeds to crush his hands, like with his own hands, just to show that he's not the merciful, benevolent Superman that we all know and love. He's something different, somehow changed, as they said in the comic. And that was a prevailing theory for a while. A lot of people thought this might actually be the real Superman, but like being temporarily taken out by Doomsday has kind of drove him mental and made him a remorseless kind of a more vicious character, but turns out no, that's not the case. It's the Eradicator. Okay, next area. The thing is with this, on one hand it's cool to get to play as all these different versions of Superman, but they do all kind of play very similarly, so it doesn't add that much variety to the game. You'd be as well playing the whole thing as Superman. But of course, from the story point of view, you can't do that. The one disappointing thing is you don't get to play as Supergirl at any point, despite the fact that she was around and she was part of this story, albeit tangentially. The version of Supergirl that was around in the comics at this time was actually dating Lex Luthor. Long story, which you can read up in your own time. In her defense, she thought he was Lex Luthor's son, but it was actually Lex Luthor in a cloned younger body. Yeah, comic book contrivances. If you're not a comic book reader, but you want to try and, you know, get the gist of this whole Death of Superman story, I would recommend there's a novelization of it called The Death and Life of Superman, written by Roger Stern. I think it's out of print now, but you should be able to find it online pretty cheap. And it's a really good read. It's about 300 pages or so, but it covers a lot of background detail as well that isn't necessarily in the comics. Right, we're continuing. Okay, so Eradicator round 2. Yeah, try and knock the enemies into each other as much as you can. Oh, that was pretty skillful dodging there, if I do say so myself. Oh, there's an extra life. I knew there was something up there, I just couldn't remember where. As I often say on this channel, it's been a while since I played this game, and this is my first time playing the Super NES version. I played it on the Mega Drive, Genesis, whatever you want to call it. That was Eradicator's super attack there. I just wanted to clear the decks a little. Alright, go away you. You've annoyed me now. Good thing I found that extra life, huh? Right. Okay, on to the next section. There we go. Ouch. Okay. Okay, done. Now let's see if there's any power-ups here. Could do with some energy. Evidently not. Oh well. That little dive kick move is quite good. Quite effective. Ah well, still got 3 lives left. We're looking good so far. Only concern is I've used up quite a few of my special attacks rather carelessly. Can't remember what the boss is for this level, but hopefully it's not too difficult. Oh, it's steel. Okay. So, similar strategy to Doomsday, I think. Jump kicks for the win. Because we can't combo him. We're not being allowed to. So this should already tell you that all is not well between these new Supermen, because we get 2 of them fighting each other already. One more hit should do it. Oh no, that's it. Level done. See, he's definitely not talking like Superman when he says things like that. It takes more than power to be Superman. It takes humanity and compassion. Yes. Yes. That could be a tagline for the new film, you know that? You see there, the Eradicator is not evil. He just doesn't have human emotions. Now, an enormous spacecraft appears over Coast City, which is Green Lantern, Hal Jordan's home city. And it's been completely blown to bits, Independence Day style. So, Eradicator's going to go and see what is going on. So he can fire energy beams, as you can see. Yeah, these flying levels are a nice little diversion from the beat 'em up stuff, which can get a little bit tedious. So that's Giant Spaceship, which I don't think is named in this game, is actually a version of War World, which is Mongol's sort of a gladiatorial arena that he flies around in and kidnaps powerful aliens to fight in. So Superman has fought in it multiple times and ended up liberating people who were captured there and so on. Bit of a complex story. Yeah, War Worlder. So there you go. That's the reference to War World right there. But they are basically just more difficult versions of the Cadmus goons we fought earlier. Yeah, this is all very Terminator 2 Judgment Day here. With its imagery. So again, take out the aerial enemies first. Oh, and he landed on a mine, how convenient. Oops, clumsy. Oh, we're using a continue there. Oops. Oh well, just as well really. And that's the good thing about this game. I think the continues are infinite, and it's just a case of you have to do the level again. But each level is beatable with a full set of lives. So you know, it's a difficult game, but it's not an impossible game. I say, in my opinion, level 2 is the most difficult part of the game, and we've already done that. So. Okay, on to the next section. Right, War Worlder, come on. There we go. There we go. Just gonna clear the decks here. Got me. A mine conveniently placed off screen. Lovely. Take care of War Worlder first, then we'll go for that little spaceship. There we go. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Oh, extra special attack, lovely. Okay, time to clear the decks here. That doesn't feel very fair. Okay, oh, it's Cyborg Superman. And he's turned bad, if he ever was good to begin with. Yeah, notice how he's now just called the Cyborg, not Cyborg Superman anymore. Yeah, tough one, but we can get him. We can get him. Okay, on to the next section. Okay, so flying enemy first. There we go. Okay. Ah, that was handy. Okay. So again, airborne enemies first. Go away, Muppet. Okay, he's down. And so am I. Stop it. Okay. Yeah, walking right onto a landmine wasn't my greatest idea. Okay, boss time. Oh, you Muppet. Oh, there's a special move I didn't know I had. Okay, interesting. Oh, right. Energy beam that I didn't know I had. Good, that's handy. But it's not going to be enough because the cyborg has now taken Eradicator captive. So now he's going after Superboy. The Metropolis kid. So the characters all have some sort of beam weapon that I didn't know about. Okay, well that's handy. Now you can see Superboy is one of the most 90s looking characters you'll ever see. It's like he walks straight out of an MC Hammer or Vanilla Ice video. Oh, there's a little bonus I didn't know about. Need to throw these enemies into the background more often. How much good stuff have I missed in the earlier levels by not doing that? We're on 0 lives here, so we are going to drop a continue momentarily, but I think we can handle that, all things considered. Unless there's an extra life around here that I don't know about. Oh, speaking of which, I did not preempt that. I genuinely didn't know there was an extra life there, like, seriously. So there you go. Okay, so that attack is just basically a stun attack, which allows you to go in and then combo the guy. Alright, that's good to know. Superboy is a lot faster than the other characters. I quite like the way he handles, actually. He's one of the... Like, Cyborg, Superman and Eradicator both handled very similarly, but Superboy feels a bit different. Faster, more nimble, and more variations in his combos as well. I like that leg throw as well, that's handy. More extra energy, great. Actually make it through this level, you know? Maybe. Watch now as I get annihilated just for having the cheek to say that. Okay, what's next? Okay, streets of Metropolis are safe once again. Now to go check out Coast City. Oh no, Superboy, you're heading for a world of pain, son. Uh-oh. This is where I get knocked out, I think. Use that right away, since my energy's almost gone. out for landmines here. And bombs from above, of course. One more of those and I'm done. Yeah. Oh well. Continue time. So I have to do the Metropolis section again, but that's okay. Don't mind that actually, because I say Superboy is actually quite good fun to use. Onward. That's getting a bit obnoxious now. There we go. And moving on. Okay. Take out the biker first. Ideally we want to try and get to War World with, or Coast City rather, with the 4 lives intact. And I'm going to try not to use any special attacks. I've got a feeling we're going to have to fight the Cyborg again. And it's not going to be pleasant. I wonder if this shutter has anything behind it. That's what I'm trying to find out here. It doesn't. Oh well, now we know. Yeah, throwing bad guys into each other using the both the leg throw and the shoulder throw is pretty good fun with Superboy. Okay, now we're off to Coast City. So, airborne guys first. Okay, he's down. Ah, that was fortunate. That was equally fortunate. Oh, and that was unfortunate. Okay, moving on. One more combo should take care of him. Now for his friend. Okay. I suspect there's at least a couple of power-ups there, but we'll have to figure out the best way to get to them. Then again, maybe there isn't, I don't know. Right, okay. First of all, take care of this guy. There we go. Yep, cyborg again. Okay. Right, last one should do it. And he's down. But, of course, Superboy is not strong enough to take down the cyborg Superman because he is a multiversal level threat. So now he's been captured. You are in what used to be Coast City, now Engine City, yes. Yeah, because basically they want to restructure the planet into a new war world for Mongol. So he's now going to go and do the same thing to Metropolis. Meanwhile, up at the Fortress of Solitude, okay, so another shooting section here with Superboy. As you can see, we're right into the bowels of Engine City now, so we've got a lot to lot to deal with. These enemies are quite a bit more powerful than the ones we fought before. Okay, level complete. So, news flash. A fifth hero has appeared claiming to be the real Superman. The Man of Steel is going to investigate. Yep, Superman is back. And of course, that black and silver suit was what inspired the black suit which appeared in the 2021 version, the director's cut of the Justice League movie as well. This was also the beginning of Superman's mullet phase, as you can see with the longer hair. So we're going to get to play as Steel for this level, I think. Yep, level 7, Steel Rain. So with his sledgehammer weapon, Steel does have a slightly different fighting style from what I remember. He can still fly though, thanks to his rocket boots. Definitely feels a bit slower and more sluggish than Superboy though. Such a cool outfit, the Steel outfit though. They absolutely, they really wasted it in the Shaq movie. That was just a complete mess, which is a shame because this is a really cool costume if you do it properly. A really cool character as well, actually. Steel. They do a pretty good adaptation of the character in the Superman and Lois TV series that ended last year. I recommend checking that out if you want to see Steel. The most faithful adaptation of Steel so far, in my opinion, is in Superman and Lois. Oh dear. Steel has longer range, but his attacks are slower, so I guess it's a trade-off. I think we're about to drop a continue here, but that's okay. Yep, there we go. Let's try that again. Oh, come on. Okay, much needed extra life there. I'll take that. Okay, some extra energy there as well. That'll be useful. Yeah, that was probably overkill, but those guys were annoying me. There we go. Ah dear. That's unfortunate, but I think we're still doing reasonably okay, all things considered. Okay, on to the next section. Okay, making decent progress here so far. Okay, take care of the airborne guy first. Yes, just when we needed it. Perfect. Oh. Right, gotta take this guy out first. Okay, we are doing better this time around, but still not perfect. I hope we're nearing the end here. That was pathetic. Really use some extra health right about now. Ah, perfect. Just what the doctor ordered. Ah, you muppet. Let's take them out. Ah, finally, we're clear of that level. That's good. Okay. Uh-oh, we've got a missile being launched at Metropolis now. Alright, Superboy's going to take care of this one. Good. Easier to control than steel. Okay, so we've got to blow out the different components of this rocket as we go. Alright. Yeah, that was... This is definitely tougher than most of the other shooting levels so far. We just got to do glancing blows on that kryptonite cannon because I can't. If I stay focused on it for too long, it's just gonna smash me. So there we go. Okay. Okay, got it. So far, so good. We got it. Okay, the missile is down. Well done, Superboy. So we've got to get to the engine's core. So it's a kryptonite core, so Superman himself cannot go in. It's got to be steel that does it. So we've got to dodge the lasers and the look like kryptonite meteorites or something. Gotta hit out these energy cores, okay. Doing okay so far. Alright, on to the second section. Go away. Okay, that'll be the boss then. Got it. That was pretty simple. Okay. Meanwhile, in the Fortress of Solitude, the Eradicator has regenerated and he's heading towards Engine City. Level 10, the Return of Superman. So unfortunately you don't get to use the regeneration suit. Basically Eradicator just sacrificed himself there in order to give his life force to Superman so that Superman could take the battle to the cyborg. So we are now back as Superman. There's a 1-up, which I lost right away. Okay. Good to know it's there, though, for the next run, because we're probably not going to get this on our first attempt, because it is, I think, maybe the last level, so... Those war bots are really annoying. The one thing that's missing here, though, is that in the actual comic book, it was Green Lantern and Superman who went to Engine City together to try and stop Mongol and the cyborg. Whereas in the game here, it's just the cyborg is the main villain, and there's no sign of Mongol and there's no sign of Green Lantern either. But you know, it's a Superman game, so you know, not a Justice League game, so I can kind of understand that. Even though I like Green Lantern, I wish he was in the game because he's awesome. See this, so I'm just going to continue here. This story actually led into a much wider story for Green Lantern because the trauma of having Coast City been blown up, which was his hometown, basically drove him slowly mad and turned him into the supervillain known as Parallax. He was possessed by the yellow fear entity and became a supervillain for a while. Okay, take out the airborne guy first. We got the extra life, that was the important bit. Right, you can just stop that right now. Oh, come on now. Tell this is the last level. The enemies are getting obnoxiously predictable with their sort of second guessing my attacks. Okay, moving on. Oh, come on now. Right, that's a bit better. Okay, moving on. I am not getting a look in here at the moment. Right. enemies are nothing if not consistent. Yeah, you notice how much faster the enemies are moving now because we're nearing the end of the game. It's quite tricky. Yeah, Turn of Superman. So, the Eradicator takes a full blast of kryptonite in order to save Superman. Get that extra life before we do anything else. Now we'll take care of this guy. Muppet. Right. Ah, right, you can smash those panels to stop any more from teleporting in. Alright. That's handy. Right. Okay. Oh, stop it. come here, you. Okay, that should be all that can spawn in here now. Yes, that was a result. Okay, and now it's the cyborg. Alright, final boss. Let's take him. Come on, Superman, we got this. One more should do it. Yes. So we've done it. We beat Cyborg Superman. And the real Superman is back. Of course he's the real thing. Done Superman, and I do mean Superman. The one and only. Indeed. See, saying he feels more energetic than ever. That again is a prelude of the storyline that would lead on from this in the Superman comics and the rest of the next few years, where basically he would basically have an energy overload and he would need to get a containment suit, which very briefly led to him changing his costume into this sort of white lightning effect thing. And eventually he split into two separate beings, Superman Red and Superman Blue, and it was all a bit bizarre, but eventually, you know, a year or two later he went back to his normal costume. But it was an interesting diversion for a while, because when he didn't activate his Superman powers, he was actually mortal. Like, he could, you know, when he was Clark Kent, he could get injured, he could get seriously hurt, and that was a interesting story mechanic. But yeah, fans don't like such radical change for such a long-standing hero, so the old costume had to come back eventually. I do like that black rejuvenation suit with the silver S though. Black and silver goes well together. As I say, I'm glad we saw it at least once on the big screen with Henry Cavill, because that looked incredible. Cyborg Superman's an interesting villain though. You might see in a future movie, maybe, I don't know. I don't know how easy it would be to adapt it, because his origin story is pretty horrific. He was an astronaut who was thought to have been killed by radiation in space, but he'd actually like fused with the computer system and become this sort of sentient computer being, but then his skin started falling off and he started to look like that. And when his wife saw that, she ended herself. And so that drove him to hate Superman, because he blamed Superman for the initial accident where he got bathed in this radiation, even though Superman saved his wife and the rest of the crew, and tried to save him. So yeah, Hank Henshaw his name was, and he remains a very dangerous, like, high-level villain of Superman to this day. As I say, if you read the comic book adaptation or the novel by Roger Stern, which I recommended earlier, you'll see a lot more about what the Engine City and War World were all about. That was a much deeper story involving Mongol as well as Cyborg Superman, and as I said, Green Lantern as well. But yeah, that was not a bad game. Superman struggles to get good games because he's so powerful that, I mean, to be honest, in this game, it's only a difficult game because they made Superman quite pathetically weak. You know, that he can be taken down by 3 or 4 punches from a normal person. That's not how Superman should work, but, you know, you have to do that, otherwise you don't have a video game, so... yeah, I would say this is probably, if we're talking purely Superman games that I've played, now bear in mind there's still a couple I haven't played yet, but if we're talking purely Superman, this is probably in my top 3. Number 1 is the classic arcade game, just because it's got the John Williams music, it's got, you know, that vibe to it, which I like, even if the playability is a bit ropey. And then number 2 would probably be the Sega Genesis version of Superman, the platform game, which again is not that great a game, but it's okay, and it's good for kind of living out the Superman experience. But yeah, Superman is long overdue a good game. A good game that's focused on him, not a Justice League game, not an Injustice game or anything like that. He deserves his own game. Once again, the world is safe. Job done. The end. So, that was the Death and Return of Superman for the Super Nintendo. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel, Tartan Samurai Gaming. We upload retro gaming content almost every day. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.